sun-soaked and proud, hung in the rafters, wrapped in shroud. Hands work strong, they twist and bind, a rebel's oath, slow burned and signed. Burn it all, let the embers soar, gold in the ash and cold in the core. No masters here, no gates to climb, we blaze the trail, we love that time. Choke what we designed. The flames don't die, they realign. The pulse within begins to rise. We break the night and claim the skies. Burn it all, let the embers soar, gold in the ash and cold in the core. No masters here, no gates to climb, we blaze the trail, we love that time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Burn It All. Can you hear me, or am I out now?
We can hear me. We can hear you.
Literally, after got everything working, the damn thing camera shut off again. So I'm having to use the damn technical issues. This is not working too good out here in the back. I'm gonna have to figure out something else. But anyway, welcome everybody to Burn It All. I'm Captain RG3. We've got Crispy Man here. We've got Triple Dad, and we're here to talk about the companies you love that make the sticks that you love, and a little bit of crypto. So thanks for the new intro, Wild SJ. How do you guys like that, huh?
It was good.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was. She's been working on that. We're getting us a new intro. She's done playing around in Vegas, going to Bitcoin events, and
drinking the Kool-Aid
and all that stuff, and she's back to work again. So good to have her and taking care of business. And right now, she is in a cigar lounge in Brea. What was the name of that lounge again?
Island
in Brea. So shout out to Island in Brea. If you're in SoCal, those guys are hosting a Wild SJ right now while she's enjoying.
That's pretty cool. She's smoking a house cigar that's cognac dipped. That's pretty awesome, SJ.
Oh, they got a cognac dipped house blend that they got there for. Sweet.
Yeah, Nicaraguan house blend, cognac soak, pretty solid. Just going to town.
Nice. Or what's the Arnold Schwarzenegger is the one where you put you dip it in tequila. Is that his
dip the end? Yeah.
So gonna be a cool show. A lot of good stuff to talk about. I was actually in a cigar lounge in LA today and met some cool people. Get to talk about lounge culture, what goes on in lounges. So that's gonna be cool. But first, let's go ahead and talk about what this week is Ashton Cigars. So our cigar of the week is Ashton. The fellas have theirs. We'll go over our sticks. I found it, the Ashton Symmetry. I wanted to get the ESG, but that's very hard to find, and so I ended up getting the Symmetry. If you can see that, this is
I love ESGs and Symmetries. They're both very good, buddy.
Yeah, no, this is. I mean, so Ashton, for those of you a little bit of the history, they started out in the 1980s. A guy, Mr. Levin, I guess was his name. He, grew up working in a cigar shop with his family, and that's here in the States in Philadelphia. And they launched the brand in like '85, and then they, as they grew and started moving, they partnered up with the Fuente family. And I can't remember when they did that. I think it was like in real soon after that, like 5 years, 89 or something like that, that they joined up with the Fuente family. And if you guys know Arturo Fuente, makers of the Opus X and all of the some of the people's favorite cigars out there, teamed up with Ashton. And Ashton's been making their brand stable, sturdy, and growing for all these years. And they put out a lot of good sticks. And everybody's got one today. So I got the Symmetry. What do you guys got?
I have a VSG double Corona. It's big. Look at the size of my finger compared to this thing. It's giant. I have big hands.
It's like a 64.
It's got to be over 60. It's good
Nice.
size.
Nice.
What
Yep,
do you
I'm
got,
smoking a double Magnum.
Double Magnum. Is that the classic?
I don't know that it's classic. It might be, but it's a double Magnum.
Double Magnum. I think that from the looks of the label, I think it looks like they have a one of their. I guess one of the line is the classic of the Ashton. So.
And I'm pairing today with a Virgil vanilla cream.
Nice.
I'm doing iced coffee black.
So I actually picked up 2 sticks today because I got another Ashton here. You can see that.
Nice.
So this is in a tin. Some cigars come in tins to protect them better. They actually have little. Yeah, they have little. They bounce around in there too if you're rolling around the humidor, so they can't get banged up. But they do have these little ridges on the inside so that it leaves an air gap so that moisture can get in and around cigars. So you can leave them in the tin. But they also it's wrapped in cedar. If you guys can see that.
Yep. That's mine too. I'm gonna burn the cedar.
So
nice.
The reason I even got this cigar is because of something. We could talk about it again. We've talked about it before, and I don't know if the camera is going to be able to focus on this, but I just took it out and took a look at it, and if you notice on the cigar, there is some real nice plume going on there.
Nice.
So
I'm jealous now, man.
So I said, this one's coming home with Daddy. So I grabbed it, snatched it up, and I'm going to let this thing continue to cook in my humidor until that plume gets nice. So there's been debate about plume, and I want to kind of put it to rest because I heard both sides of the stories. Bullshit, it's mold. No, it's really the crystallization of the tobacco oils coming out and blah 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 blah. Right. So there's 2 trains of thought, but they're both correct. There's mold and there's plume, and in order to see the difference, you'll notice when you look at plume, it's very light, dusty, little speckles, crystallization.
Yeah.
On mold, you'll actually see green, blue, fuzzy.
I've smoked mold before.
Hey, you eat it on cheese, right?
But yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Everybody out there, just forget what RG said. It's all mold, and your cigars are worthless. You need to send them to me.
And he will check them for you.
I'll check them for mold.
And if it's usually mold, you'll see it on the foot.
Yeah,
the foot gets more mold.
That's really like a weird situation. If you see mold, that's kind of like not normal, right?
Yeah, it's odd.
I don't think I think the closest I came is they got the cigar weevils, right? And I bought a cigar one time. Which brand? Oh shoot, New World brand, and it actually had the weevil in it, so I smoked the weevil, but. But that was the closest I came to something that was that degraded, like in a normal store, right?
I'm lighting mine, you guys, because it's huge.
Yeah,
so
you better get started. Well, you'll be done in a minute.
So a cigar with good plume is good, and if it even have weevils or mold, Crispy says, fire it up. It's good. You're all right. So don't worry about it. All right. Well, let's slash and burn, guys. And so interestingly enough, tonight I'm choosing not to have a cigar. And I did bring my cigar. I did get it, but I had one this afternoon, and I had some great conversations, and I'm going to get to talk about it. And I don't feel like having another cigar, to be honest. So I'm not going to have another cigar, which brings up a point that I'd like to talk about a little bit. Something that I noticed about my more more recent daily cigar habit, whatever, 1, 2, 3 sticks a day or whatever, is that I smoked cigarettes for many years, 2 packs a day even, and I was addicted to the cigarette. I don't want to say nicotine or tobacco because that's not true. Then even for a little while back, a couple years ago, I messed around with a vape pen, and I was addicted to that vape pen very quickly. And it wasn't for the enjoyment of the vape pen, and my addiction for the cigarette wasn't for my enjoyment of the cigarette, even though I did like having one after I ate, before I went to bed, after I woke up. Anyway, I noticed that with cigars, I'm not craving nicotine. I'm craving the experience of sitting down, relaxing, having the cigar. And I do feel it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to tell you that I don't feel a nicotine buzz or one doesn't get me a little harder than the others or whatever. But I don't feel that addiction, that need to go smoke another one right away or get that nicotine back in my body. It's a different kind of enjoyment. It's a different kind of savoring of the feeling of smoking a cigar versus nicotine, because I've been addicted to the other products before and I know what it does. And cigars do not do that. And I'm not smoking one to prove a point. I'm just, when I got home, I was like, yeah, I just really don't want another cigar right now. And I said, that proves my point to myself, really. So I just wanted to kind of lay that out there and tell you why I wasn't going to smoke one tonight.
Crispy smoked a cigar before the one he just lit.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
And he's going to have one after.
I don't know. I'm not the only one that might have been smoking before this, but besides that,
I smoked one I smoked a small one about an hour ago.
Yeah, I find that I think it's definitely true that it's like a relaxation thing. So it depends what I'm up to, right? Like, so the more I work out and go to the gym or whatnot, the less I smoke. Doesn't mean I don't smoke, but I mean, the more activities I have, the more I'm working in the garden, the less I smoke. But if I'm mowing the lawn, I'm smoking. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I just ordered a bunch. I got a huge mail order the other day, and I'm enamored by all the stuff I got. So I'm wanting to try it, right? So I went and I got a whole bunch of Robusto things so I could have short smokes, and I just have a whole huge selection of Robustas. So I've smoked 2 Robustos already today. Another.
Nice. Well, I hadn't smoked a cigar for 3 days, and I think it was because of the workout thing. I've been really into the gym real hard, getting in, a lot of workouts going on. And, not that it affects my lungs or anything like that, but I just, like you said, there was a couple things that made it to where I couldn't have a cigar that day. And then before I knew it, it was like 3 days. And then today I was like, oh man, I got a show tonight. I'm going to have one this afternoon though, because I stopped in at this shop and had some awesome conversations. Can't wait to talk about that. And then I picked up a pork tenderloin because I'm kind of not. I know it's the Ashton stream, but I did enjoy the Dun and Barton red meat lover series, and that pork tenderloin was like I guess that's what do you call it, a limited edition. So he had some there, so I grabbed one after I got my Ashtons, and I had that pork tenderloin. And
see, at first I thought you actually bought a pork tenderloin.
Yeah, I wasn't following either. Now
I wasn't following either because I'm smoking ribs right now, so I'm gonna go take them off the grill in 5. But yeah, all right.
So I had of the red meat lover series, I had the pork tenderloin. So I think I've tried everything.
Hey, I thought that was the other white meat.
Yeah, pork. You saw me. I just sent you a picture. I just got a bunch of red meat lover.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ribeyes. I love those cigars too. I probably have the best VSG story though.
Well, let's hear it.
So the way I was introduced to Ashton VSGs was I used to be in telecommunications, right? So I just sold a bunch of deals just as I was about ready to go to training. So I had sold a bunch of deals even before I hit training, right? And I fly into Tulsa, Oklahoma, where their corporate headquarters was. And I thought to myself, oh God, I'm freaking going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma for a week. This is going to suck. So I get there, and there's the hotel I'm in has Ferraris and freaking Lambos and Rolls Royce and limos all over the place. And I went up to a guy. I said, what is going on here? He goes, you don't know what's happening? And I said, no, I'm just here for a training thing. He goes, tonight's fight night. I said, what's fight night? And he goes, all the oil barons in the 3-state area put on fights in the basement of this hotel tonight. And they have all the call girls from that area come to this hotel and hang out and serve drinks. I go, how do I get into this? Right? So I gave this guy $100. My other buddy gave him $100, and we got 2 passes, and we got a table next to the ring because they had some extra seats. And then a lady, in not wearing very much, came to our table in a cigar with a cigar caddy and gave me a VSG. And then I gave her $20, and then she had a
no, don't go any further.
she took
I gotta look up VSG now. What does that stand for?
And then she took a boxing glove that I had bought, and she had Riddick Bowe sign it. Riddick Bowe was there.
Sweet.
And that's my VSG story. Dennis Rodman was there. Evander Holyfield was there. Michael Buffett was there doing the announcing. It was pretty cool.
He had a good party. That sounds like a good one.
Maybe one day. I
still have the T-shirt too. Tulsa Fight Night.
Oof, man! I'm glad the $20 stopped right there. So real quick story about today. So I go to Cigars and More, one of my favorite shops in El Segundo here in California, right next to the airport. So if you guys, anybody ever flies in the airport and you get into LAX and you want to go have a stick, go look up Cigars and More. What an awesome chill kickback lounge. And he's got a selection. Like if you want a $180 opus, he's got a $180 opus. If you want, house sticks, he's got house sticks. He's got a little bit of everything in there, and real hospitable guy. And just his lounge will treat you right. And every time I go there, I meet extremely interesting people, and I usually end up with a stick. And for some reason, I guess because it's so close to the airport, a lot of cigar people pop into that shop. And want to throw a shout out to gentleman I just met. Oh, I want to pull up his stuff. His name was Anders anyway, and he has a cigar lounge in Toronto, and they're called Havana Castile or Havana Castle. And it was a cool story because he like bought into a guy had made a couple of shops, and they said, hey, we want to just kind of ride on your brand, and I hope I'm telling the story correctly, but we'd like to invest in your shop. And they did it because their father in his 90s was just kind of like didn't have much to do, and the 2 brothers, they wanted to get their dad involved in something, so they all got involved in this cigar lounge. And his dad lived to be 103 years old, like being the mascot of that lounge and having something to do every day, and like they would have never been able to like put enough time into just after his wife passed away. He said it like saved his dad and gave his dad a whole new purpose in life. And he lived to 103, and he was this big part of this whole cigar culture. And now they have 3 more shops that they've opened up, and they put out their own brand. And he actually gave me one at the shop. They're called Havana Castile, Castle, Castile or Castle, depending upon how white you are.
Yeah. I'll say Havana Castle.
Havana Castle, man. But this thing is beautiful, man. It's got some really nice coloring. When you look at the foot, it's oily as can be. It's really nice. So they have their own.
It would look much better if it was lit.
Yeah, it would.
I'm not trying to peer pressure you, bro. I'm not trying to peer pressure you.
I'm gonna let this one rest in the humie for a little bit, and then I'll. But anyway, shout out to my buddy there. It really good conversation. Talked about. Oh, and by the way, we got a little something cool. So, if there's anybody here from Toronto, in the Toronto area, so his shop to honor their customers. They rent this yacht right out there in the out there outside of Toronto. And all their customers get to come on. It's a big cigar lounge show. You can even go to that website, Havana Castle, and check it out. But if anybody here is in the Toronto area or can be in the Toronto area in the next, I think it's in July. Is that what it is, SJ? Throw it in the private chat. If you hold on, she probably already did. I see a bunch of stuff in there. Says blah 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 blah. Okay. Put the details in there for me, or do I have the details already? But anyway, he gave us 2 tickets to anybody who's in the Toronto area on these dates. If you'd like to go, he donated them to the show. So I thought, damn, that was cool. So anybody there, first person in the chat who's out there, I'll send you these tickets, and you can go hang out and let them know you were here from Burn It All.
That's awesome.
So anyway, yeah,
and the guy lived to be 103 and smoked cigars in a shop probably every day.
Yep, his pop. Yep,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so shout out to them and Havana Castle for good conversation, and he's also he's got a guy that's a big Cardano dude. That got him invested in Cardano, so he'd like to chat with us one time or something and say, yeah, I'll get you on the show or something. So he's actually got some crypto connects, and he was a crypto dude. He had some crypto. And then one of the other conversations I had, there was a guy that was streaming. He has his own sports podcast, and he's an investor, and he may be looking to put a significant amount of money into Pulse Chain ecosystem. So really good and productive lounge meeting. I mean, it's just funny, the people you meet and the conversations that come up in those lounges, and what you can do there.
Should go there more often, buddy.
Yeah,
sound like some great conversations.
It was really good today. It was kind of unique. I go out to LA like once a month, so every time I go there, I stop at that shop, and
nice.
Always meet interesting people. And that's like the second time I got a free stick going there from somebody who just, yeah, my company here. And we had sticks but check this out. I was going to tell you guys about this too. So in Canada, the law is that they have to cover up with this piece of paper here. Their label has to be covered with this certain color of green, brown, horrible looking label, and it has their information on it, but it can't be. You can't see like the colors or the foil or the brightness or any type of advertising. It has to be this plain label, and it has all the information. Havana Castle Cigars, original series, Habano Robusto, handmade in Esteli, Nicaragua. And by the way, they have their own. They don't farm out. They have their own rollers out there and their own company.
So why is that, buddy?
So this is a Canadian law, kind of like what happens in the EU, where I showed you how they wrap those pieces of paper around the whole thing, and you can't even get the damn cello off. It's so wrapped up. Well, that's kind of how Canada has made it. I guess what they're trying to do is brand all tobacco products with the same color so that kids aren't seeing it. Everybody knows what it is. And once again, trying to cornhole the tobacco industry all into one lumped together versus, allowing cigar brands to brand themselves and, be who they are and whatnot. They don't want anybody to be wowed by the beautiful packaging or fooled into.
So crazy.
It is.
So my experience is the more plain bands, or maybe not plain, traditional style bands are usually the better cigars, right? When you're getting like a Romeo or something, that's a very plain red and white band, and traditionally, it's usually not the big elaborate bands that do it or are doing anything, unless you go into like what we did 2 weeks ago, Tatuaje, and you're doing Frankensteins and Wolfmans and stuff like that. Then you're getting a little, you get some pretty crazy bands. But
yeah. And again, I think it's just the industry trying to plain wrap, the industry so that everybody's kind of pushed into one box, and it's all equally evil, equally the same as one another. And, I think that us, by having this podcast, that's what we're trying to do, is separate cigar culture, cigar companies, the cigar business, the actual smoking of a cigar, from things like cigarettes and vape. Like what I was saying, like I don't have that nicotine urge. Just be, I want to smoke a cigar because I want to smoke a cigar, and I don't want to smoke a cigar right now. So it's just, I don't think it's the nicotine that is the big, push for, having a stick. Like nicotine is the big push for, the chemicals that are in cigarettes and vapes are really the push, because, we all know that cigarette companies lied. The cigarette companies made nicotine more addictive than it actually is. And, they even had to admit to it. They all got sued for it. And, the industry's been declining ever since, until vapes came. And then the industry took another jump because the vape industry, but finding out the same thing there, they've put additives and chemicals in these things to make them taste and affect you even more, to be more addictive. So putting them in the same category, I think, is wrong. I think it's evil. I think that it's going to hurt people that don't deserve to be hurt. Like, for instance, this guy here and his family business that he started, and it saved his dad, and and then you look at the whole cigar industry as a whole, and what these people, what it does for these countries that make these cigars. Their whole economy is built around a lot of it. There's whole cities out there in Esteli that are built based on the cigar culture.
100%.
Yeah. Those were the hardest things I ever quit was cigarettes and chew. I used to have Copenhagen was harder to quit than cigarettes. It was rough. But I used to do flipping houses and stuff like that, and I would hang around this guy from Alabama all the time, and I freaking started taking dips, right? And then I'm full blown got a circle in my jeans, right?
I literally, to this day, gag when I think of Copenhagen and the smell of it, because when I was in the Marine Corps, there was all those good old boys. I ain't never seen no Copenhagen before. I'm a California kid, I come over there, and these guys, you got to take some dip. These guys had that shit in there all day long, like a whole lip full of that shit, Yeah, I take a pinch and, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Not even 20 minutes later, I am puking my brains out, and that stuff was.
And now they're going after people with those Zins, right? Those Zin things. That's crazy. I have a buddy that eating Zins like they're freaking lifesavers. It's unreal. Yeah. I could see if you are a smoker and you need something to take the edge off while you're in an airport or on a plane. I would get that. Oh, holy moly. That seems like a dangerous game right there, Zins.
Yeah.
Little uneven, but I got a little bit of ash going on there.
I already flicked mine, bud. This is a great cigar.
This one's nice and smooth too.
Yeah, I would be reporting on it, but I always think people may have smoked VSGs, but this is one of the more smooth freaking cigars. I don't know how to describe it. I like this better than some Padrones. Yeah. These VSGs, the symmetry that you got and the ESG that you were looking for, I love those. I like those way more than Padrones. And the other cool thing is that series that Crispy's smoking and this one, if you go to Vegas and you go to these shops like the one in the mall that we all had a smoke at, they'll have like a 5-pack of these, and it's in this little black box, and it'll have different sizes all the way down from this one being the biggest all the way down, and I think there's a torpedo in there as well. So that might be the tallest, but this is definitely, if you were going by weight, this is a heavy freaking cigar. It's like $75. Yeah, and these are like 22 bucks at any brick and mortar, right?
Yeah,
so
that's a good price.
It's a smoking deal. You're saving like probably 25 bucks there, right? So when you're in Vegas, if you want to try some VSGs, you want to get a sample pack. If you're not going online and getting them, that little 5-pack sampler of both that classic one that that Crispy smoking or the VSGs, they have those sample packs. Try them out.
Now what I like about the ESG is, and I haven't had one yet, is I found out it's a completely Dominican Puro. And if it's a Dominican Puro and it's made by Fuente, that means that it's very close to being an Opus X when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? And that's my favorite smoke. So my guess is that that's kind of, because I know what they do. You know, I was listening to Steve Saka of Dunn and Barton talk about, he's pretty open about what he is. Like, I buy a bunch of tobacco, I store it, I age it, I do this, I do that. He goes, but then there's tobacco I can't use. Like if I'm making a high end cigar, one of my top of line cigars, and I have all of this product I can't use. Well, yeah, I ain't throwing it out.
Yeah.
That's going to be, going into a whole nother blend. And, my guess is that something like the ESG is probably stuff that was rejected from being an Opus and ended up over, and, they make the ESG out of it. If it's a Dominican Puro, which for those of you who don't know, the Dominican wrapper is kind of a very rare, leaf, so not too many cigars have that Dominican wrapper, and that's what Opus X's are, and they're just one of my favorite cigars.
So when I first started smoking VSGs regularly, I wasn't really doing a lot of research or anything online about cigars or anything. I just knew what I liked, right? And then I had a buddy of mine say, "Have you smoked an ESG?" I said, "You mean VSG?" Because it sounds similar, right? And he goes, No, ESG. Try an ESG. And I said, "I've never even heard of freaking Ashton ESG." And I went and got one, finally found one. And I was going, "Oh my God, this thing's slamming." It's a great cigar, bud.
Yeah, it's got to be a lot like an Opus. If it's a Dominican Puro, any Dominican Puro, they're just my favorites. They're tasty, but they've got that light. They're light on the pepper, light on the spice, and they're just real smooth. It's like you just want to retrohale the whole cigar. It's so good.
Yeah.
I am pairing my nut cigar with clear protein powder this evening.
Clear protein powder.
Yeah, have you ever heard of it?
I've never done clear protein powder.
So this is a game changer, man. Not to change the subject to health, but so protein powders are thick, milkshake crap, right? Well, now they make stuff that's like lemonade. It's got this thing here's got 44 grams of protein in it. It's like drinking lemonade. It's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I had a protein thing that I make for the wife, and I in the morning, right? And I'll throw a banana, some strawberries, some vanilla powder, or some peanut butter powder, and then the freaking chocolate powder and a banana. I do those most every day, but no, I don't have clear.
Okay.
My wife might have that stuff someplace.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I just get sick of like having it freaking choke down protein powder that's like, you know, a milkshake, whatever. But this I could sip on all day, have it with dinner, lunch, whatever. And it's
Have you ever smoked a cigar with it?
I have not. You're still getting me to light that up, aren't you?
No. I'm not trying. No pressure, buddy. Do they have other flavors besides lemonade?
Oh yeah, they got mango, they got watermelon, they got all kinds of stuff. I just happen to like the strawberry lemonade one that they have. So yeah, that's what I'm on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so clean and light, and you don't have that, you know, thick shake stuff. Dude, you said you were putting the ribs, you were changing the ribs on the smoker?
I had to take them off, man. They're done. 7 hours, 8 hours already. I'm done, man. I'll share a picture if I can get them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
My hex ribs.
Oh yeah.
Why are you calling them? Why are you calling them hex ribs?
What makes
I
them
don't
hex
know.
ribs? Oh, okay.
Just gotta say it.
Were they
I put it in
His shameless shill for hex.
That's right. I'd call them steaks, but T-shirt ribs. Sharing the ribs.
T-shirt, T-bones. All right. Okay.
What do you guys think about the whole Elon
Oh my God.
Trump thing going down right now?
I was driving home, and you know, I literally saw like I got a notification that Elon posted, and I started reading. I'm like, what? And then I opened it up, and like X is on fire, man. It's like,
yeah.
I don't read that as new news. They've been threatening that idea and thought for like years, right? That was the case. So I didn't take it like new news. You know, I mean the whole Epstein thing.
Oh. No. I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about the fact that they've like aired their dirty laundry with each other.
Absolutely blown up.
They're like blowing it up live. I think I even tweeted, it's like, oh, I thought we Hexicans were bad. Look at this.
Maybe it's part of a bigger plan. Who the hell knows, man? You know, InfoWars are like that, you know?
Yeah, that's true, buddy. The only thing that I saw somebody post this and I thought it was absolutely true. If the other side of the Trump, the people campaigning against Trump had access to that Epstein list for the entire time he campaigned and he was on it, they would have brought that up.
Yeah, I don't
know. It doesn't make sense not to, right?
Somebody would leak it, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're right. That's suspect to me a bit, right?
I mean, the information to me doesn't matter, like what they're saying. It's just the fact that they're doing it like live, real time in front of everybody is like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. And which makes me think that it's, you know, it's some kind of planned freaking, you know, I don't know if they're that smart to plan it, but it's just funny that it's all going on live in front of everybody.
I could see Elon saying, I would like to get my customers back. Right now I have everybody scratching each other's cars with keys, right?
Quit messing my car business up.
You have Tesla customers scratching each other's cars, and I think it would be if he wanted to exit himself from that thought, maybe this would be a good way to do it. But hard to say. Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm.
Them's gonna be fall off the bones there. Huh?
Yeah, they've broken. They're already breaking, man. Breaking.
Oh.
I use the Texas crutch method. So I did a couple hours of pre-smoke and then 3, 2, 1 to get there. And then the finishing, of course, is the best. A little bit of apple cider vinegar. Mm-mm-mm.
Are you going to put any sauce on them, or is that an after thing?
That's a dry rub right there.
Yeah, they don't require sauce.
Right.
But I do have some. I've got some good sauce. We had a strawberry festival out here,
No.
and I picked up some spicy strawberry and barbecue sauce. Mm-mm-mm. So I'll probably throw some heat on it eventually.
Nice.
We used to have a strawberry festival out here. I don't think we have it anymore. We used to have one. There's a town called Garden Grove out here, and it used to be all half strawberry fields, and then it dwindled all the way down to one strawberry field left. And now they're all gone. And I think there's a Costco there where the last field was.
Strawberry Costco.
Yeah. So I don't think we have a strawberry festival in Garden Grove anymore, but yeah, it was, we used to have one.
We used to have one here, but now I think we just have a garlic festival in the Bay Area. Gilroy Garlic Festival.
Mm-hmm.
I live in the South Bay, and probably 20 miles down the road is Gilroy-ish, right? And when that breeze comes down from the ocean and travels down 101, my house smells like I'm processing garlic here sometimes. It's unbelievable. Nice. Yeah.
Some people might like that. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
not. Yeah. Yeah.
Keeps the area free of vampires.
Yeah, depending where we are and when they're planting, we get the aroma of fertilizer, natural fertilizer.
So,
no BS. No BS.
So how's the cigars, guys?
My cigar is going great.
I can't keep up with Marcus. I'm going though. That's good. Mine's a Dominican. Let's see. What's the full description on this one? This is I believe both Dominican filler and binder. So wrapper's Connecticut on this one. Dominican binder and filler. It's just pretty, and it is pretty mellow. It's all Dominican, except for the Connecticut. I guess the Connecticut's probably not actually from Connecticut, but it could be.
I'm looking mine up.
That's funny because they now grow Connecticut seed in like Nicaragua, right?
Mm. They definitely can. Now, does every brand do that? I don't know, but I know up here, you used to be able to fly in from the airport. You'd see the tobacco, the tobacco huts down there, all covered over with tobacco drying, and not anymore. Not anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some out there, but it's just not as prevalent. Not from like an airplane. Not as you're flying into Hartford. You can't be like, oh, look, there it is.
So anybody who's local, I just got a message from our producer that says anybody around, let's see, at Island Cigar Lounge in Brea on the, is it the 27th or the 28th there, bruh? You got the 28th, 628 party at Island Cigar Lounge or July 27th. Which one is it? Better, maybe it's 27th. She put that second. So the 27th. Maybe it's I think it's the 27th. Whatever.
You can come both days, though. You can go both days.
Yeah. Go ahead and go hang out down there both days. Those guys will be hanging out. And
unless you're taking a break. But
there's going to be an event, I think, at Cigars and More too in El Segundo here. Oh, she said yes. It's the 27th. July 27th is the Ontario thing, and the 28th of June is the Island party. Oh, so the 28th of June is the Islands party. Then what is the 27th? Wait, shit. She's wrong again. Hold on, everybody. Get your pencils out. The producer. Are you smoking cigars or weed over there? What are you doing?
You don't need pencil. You need an eraser.
So it looks like she's trying to give us the info. Also, SJ, would you get me the info on the dates for the okay, so the party at Islands in Brea, California is on the 28th of June. So if you want to go check that out, those guys are there at Islands. And then the 27th. Oh, the 27th is the Ontario, Canada, not Ontario. Okay, thank you. So Ontario, Canada, with the Havana Castle. If you go there, you can see their dates for their deal. And I got a set of tickets for anybody who's in that area. So drop me a DM, drop SJ a DM, or put one into the chat, and we'll first person that's in that area that wants to grab a cruise with the Havana Castle bros, you can go do that.
So according to this, right, this I think is the Wizard, the Ashton VSG Wizard 6-inch 56 band.
It's only a 56. Damn.
It doesn't seem 56, to tell you the truth.
No, because I know you got fat fingers. That thing
It's like the size of my thumb too.
Yeah, you got sausage fingers.
I wonder if this is a VSG that I had in the humidor before I bought that sampler box that I just forgot I had.
An extra one.
Yeah.
I had a VSG, and I thought I had it in there still, but it looked like I smoked it, and so that's why I had to go to the shop. Good thing I got to go to the shop though. That's cool.
So this is a Dominican binder.
Oh,
in filler, Ecuadorian Sumatran wrapper.
Dang, nice.
Yeah, so we're cooking with gas here. VSG solid smoke, solid stick. Now, though, if you get that white sampler box, it has that Cabernet in there, whatever they call that one. Yeah, or Cabernet pyramids.
The Cabernet.
Yeah. So they have the regular heritage ones, but they also have the Cabernet, and they also have a VSG Robusto.
Now, are you trying to be fancy with the word? Because I saw one today, and I thought it was cabinet. Is it cabinet?
Cabinet.
Cabinet.
I thought it was just cabinet, like a cabinet.
Cabernet.
Cabernet pyramid.
Okay.
We've got all kinds of accents going on today. We also had the
Castile,
the Castile, and the castle, and all kinds of good stuff.
Cigar culture, baby. Cigar culture.
Yeah.
So, with that, anything going on in the crypto world exciting other than the stablecoin legislation kind of getting passed and kind of looking sus to me anyway. I don't think a lot of people in crypto are happy about it. I know that the big exchanges are, but I think it leaves a lot of control to the centralized exchanges. I don't know. That's just my opinion. What are you fellas thinking about that?
I'm not a big fan of government issued cryptocurrency. They haven't done well with the paper money that they also create. So I'm not a big fan of what they create on the other side either. So I wish they would just leave that to the people who know what they're doing.
Leave the crypto to the crypto?
100%. I think they are probably one of the few people that could destabilize a stable coin. Is what I think, right?
If somebody's going to mess it up, right, it's going to be the government, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no.
Yeah, please don't do that. Don't touch that.
Just let us have it. Give it back to the people and let us deal with it, Well, I can't say that the crypto bros have done a fabulous job of that either. Run around stealing from each other's back pockets. But there's got to be a better answer than this. I mean,
Kyle Cruz is right. Stable-ish.
Stable-ish. Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that, Kyle. That's a good one. Have to make sure you get credit for that, because it's a stable-ish coin. And the thing that got me, I missed last week's show because I was at the Bitcoin convention, and the thing that got me right between the eyes with the whole thing was when I read deep into it. I found that they have the ability to stop, cancel, turn off, restrict self-custody wallets from utilizing that stablecoin. So basically what they've created is a CBDC for the crypto industry, centralized organizations, i.e. now, Coinbase can have a stable coin. Fidelity can have a stable coin. The United States government can have a stable coin, and that gives control of that stable coin to them, to those entities privately, not one governing bureaucracy or anything, but each agency can act how they want with it. And that may be good, that may be bad. I don't know yet, because we have yet to see it all play out. But what I read in there was that they had 35 different reasons plus that they could flag your account and, stop you from using that stablecoin. 35 reasons. Now, I can see a few reasons to worry, like money laundering, terrorist activity, drug dealing, money laundering, those kinds of things. Okay, so if you want to protect against those things and you want a centralized FDIC backed whatever, good. Go have that. Go do that. Leave the cash and the DeFi alone and go have your protected, I don't want a self-custody and I want some rules and regulations and tracks to run on and some protections and insurance and all that stuff. Put that over there. Fine. If you guys want to go regulate over there. But to say that, hey, we're all going to go over here and play, and those of you who are outside in the cash world, if we don't like you, we got 35 reasons we can say fuck you. You don't get to use your crypto, your wallet, or whatever. And that's the thing that really bothers me about it. And what really got me is I saw that and I go, well, that's not good. That's kind of a poison pill. I don't see it happening yet. Of course, we haven't seen any of this happen yet. Not sure of how bad it's going to be for decentralized and self-custody wallets versus the centralized world that they want to put everybody in. But then I heard Michael Saylor get up on stage at the Bitcoin event and say, these rules are great, but there's a problem here. What we can't do is we can't investigate, regulate, watch, monitor the backing of the stablecoin, the reserves that we hold. It would be too dangerous for us if you guys were to keep coming in and checking on our reserves. We don't want you to do so. That's literally what the guy said. And I was like, oh, wait a second. Wait. We, the public, the users, have to, bend over and cough. And they, the issuers of the stable coin, don't have to, even open up the door for them to look at their reserves and see what it is that they're actually backing their stable coin with. I found that really, really hard to take or get behind. Or
you mean hypocrisy?
Yeah, I didn't like the hypocrisy.
Yeah. Well, we get that. Well, in general, right? The world in general, life in general, right? The world isn't fair, right? So,
Yeah.
So even though we can have like some sort of intellectual discussion about how it should be fair, and we might even strive for that, right, and reach for it, that isn't how it is, right? And so, yeah, I mean, the hypocrisy is going to be rampant. So then the question is, how do you counter the hypocrisy? Transparency helps, right? That's one of the things, right? Particularly with blockchain that we're going after. is the idea that there's more transparency, hopefully, right? Usually, that you'd be able to see that. But it does. But then people speaking out about it like this, and other people, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that will speak out about it. It's like, yeah, it is kind of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Because without going way into detail about the whole hex situation versus this blockchain or this token, that token, right? The hypocrisy is all over the place, right? If it's yours, you like it,
Yeah.
right?
Well, of course, you want your
And you're
thing
going to support it. And unfortunately, that's where most people land. Is they like, yeah, well, if I have Bitcoin, I want everything to go Bitcoin's way. And if I'm running MicroStrategies, I want it to go their way. And then other people have to speak up and try to push the other direction. And in a more fair, not fair, but more fair environment, right? That stuff equals out to some extent. Maybe we end up in the middle somewhere,
There's three things that I don't like about it. One is it's incrementalism, right? So it's going to be money laundering, drug dealing, terrorist activities, blah, 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 blah. And then it's going to be cigar stores and tobacco products. And then it's going to be seed oils. And then it's going to be two-stroke motorcycles. And then it's going to be this, and then this, and then this. And that list of
plastic straws.
Plastic straws.
You can have plastic cups, but no straws.
Is going to turn into the 111-page deficit or bill that they just passed, or 1,100-page bill that they just passed. So I don't like that. The second thing I don't like about it is that there's also already a shit ton of laws on the books for money laundering. Do you need more? I don't know. If I'm laundering some USDC and I'm sending it to you, do I need another law to create? Do I need to create another law to make that even more illegal? I don't think so. Right?
No.
Yeah. And then fair is always in the eye of the beholder, right? Yeah. So right now, the version of fair is that's being implemented. It is disagreeable to some, right? As was the determination of fair over the last 4 years, right? So when you say that this is going to be a fair thing, to have your money movable with heads of state and whichever party is in office, I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. And that's the beauty of blockchain. Blockchain doesn't care. Black, blue, red, white, yellow, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, whatever. It's still on the blockchain. And if it's in your wallet, you got it no matter what.
Yeah. And like you said, it's like the regulation that's on the books for cash is already there. It's like, oh, Wild SJ appears. I'm sure she got something to say. Let me finish my thought real quick. It's like there is no there is a reason, and you and I both know it, that the only reason that they've decided to do what they've did and how they've done it is because they want control of this. They want to get in the game. They weren't in here in the beginning. Now they've inched their way in. They've stuck their foot in the door, and now they're crawling all the way in. And they knew that they couldn't beat it, so they had to join it or help destroy it or throttle it back or whatever it is that they want to do with it. They had to get their hands in on it. And it would have been so easy for them to just say, hey, treat it like cash. It's just digital cash. We have laws on the books already. You guys, everybody needs to comply with that. The blockchain, like you said, is more transparent than cash. They actually have a better way to see it, monitor it, do the same things that 100%. They did. The same people that monitor cash and terrorist activity and all that kind of stuff can do the exact same thing and even better on the blockchain. They should have just shut up, and they would have probably been better off because they would have just let it ride, and they would have caught them all. Because if they put anything on the blockchain, it's going to be seen. And as soon as they start,
I hate those kind of people too, by the way, Let's just say I'm Mr. Crispy and I'm out there and I've got my ribs on the freaking smoker for a long time and I've done them a bunch of times. They look freaking gorgeous. And then somebody comes over and says, "You're not doing that right. Let me show you how that's done." Those type of people bug the shit out of me, right? I'm doing this and I'm freaking doing something in my yard and I'm making my freaking whatever it is. And then somebody comes over, "Hey, let me see that. You're not doing that correctly." "Oh, yeah? I've done it like this forever and it works well." It's just, they have no track record of creating something that works. Go show me a DMV where I could go in and get out in a matter of 15 minutes. Go show me some tax codes that are able to be understood on a yearly basis. Do that stuff, and then come at me with, "Oh, we're going to create a cryptocurrency," because they don't have the skills.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't even get me started.
That's
on
probably
what
a good
California's
point.
doing.
Hi,
Yeah,
I'm here to derail you.
Derail.
I would like to just say that behold the day SJ has smoked a third cigar in one day.
Good.
Holy
Good.
moly.
It's all this guy's fault.
Very good.
What's
This is
up,
Marla.
guys?
What's up,
Yep, and then
guys?
you got Chad and Fabian over here hanging out. What? Us in 3D. Look at us.
Nice.
Oh shit! Look at that. We're in the lounge. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I just
It
wanted to
is.
say hi. I'm enjoying the show, enjoying my third smoke of the day. Let's go. Have fun,
All right.
guys.
Burn it all, SJ. Burn it all.
Burn it all.
That's cool. She's
Well,
got us live in the lounge, man. That's
Between her and I, we made up for you, RG3. You're good.
cool. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this
Yeah,
is my thing.
she's had 3 today.
Yeah.
She's
Oh, my God.
She's burning number 3. I'm on number 2 in this stream.
That's wild. That's wild. Yeah, no, I'm still feeling fine for tonight. But so California put another rule in the books where if you've left crypto on an exchange, I don't know how they're gonna figure this out,
How do you do that?
because it's like, how are they gonna? I read it today myself. Was that if you had crypto on exchange for 3 years, they can confiscate it. The state can confiscate it. How do they know what exchange is or what wallet is coming out of the state of California? It's like, that's just stupid.
Well, it sounds like somebody. It looks like somebody figured out inactive wallets and what that might mean.
Yeah, and how are they going to prove that it's a California inactive wallet? That doesn't.
Well,
unless
it
it's
goes back the
KYC.
other way. So there's a lot of people that actually tell the truth and also do things like file their taxes properly and all this other stuff, right?
Yep.
And so it's possible that, because I've already heard of people, like, unfortunately people pass away, right? And
Yeah.
so you hear about things going through. It's like we're all on that journey, right? It's not like you're going to escape that.
Yep.
Maybe. Okay, we'll talk about future stuff another time, right? but here's the thing, right? So all of a sudden you're tasked with figuring out what probably your dad or brother or somebody, right? Maybe your mom, right? But whatever, you try to figure out the probate, you're putting all the accounts together. You say, what the hell is this? What the hell is this Kraken account? All right. And you dig into it a little bit further, and obviously you realize, hey, they had a Kraken account at one point, and it's still there. And you have the credentials because you can go through a process. It's a real company, right? So you can go through the process and go find out what's going on with this, right? And so I don't know, I'm kind of like elaborating. I don't know the exact intent in California, but now that would be subject to seizure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Potentially.
Beach Whale has a freaking awesome point there, right? If you have money in a savings account or a 401k and it sits there for freaking ever, they don't touch it.
I forget if you had brought it up one time, RG3. I think Maddie might have brought it up before on his streams. The number one investors, the best performing investors are dead investors, right? So because the accounts nobody does anything with them. They sit there and if they're in good assets, they just grow.
Those are dust hands, not diamond hands. Dust hands.
Ghost hands.
Yeah.
But the 3-year thing kind of like is like what? Because like there's put stuff in a savings account, not touch it for 25, 30, 40 years. Whether or not you're active on it or not, it doesn't. But I don't know how
they'll come after you. I don't know the time frame, but they'll come after
you.
you.
Well, there is a bunch of rules in there.
About 5 or 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, they said after the letters go out and you don't respond to the letters. So there's all this stuff that they have to do to, but somebody can move, it can slip through the cracks. Somebody could, and that's
that right there is money though, right? So that probably has all kinds of stuff garnered by, regulated by monetary policy, right?
Of course.
If crypto is not a security, which it is deemed is not a security, right? It is a possession, right? It is no different than a Pokemon card, right? So if that's the case, you can't come and seize my assets without a freaking warrant.
Yeah. Well, I think that they're going by that whole. If you read how they do it, they have to notify you. You have to be notified a certain amount of times. There has to be a last letter and all this other stuff. So
if you have a collector car sitting in your freaking driveway and you haven't driven it for 3 years and they send you a letter and somebody comes over to try to pick up my collector car,
they
would have a bad day
on their ass.
They would have a bad day.
762 by 39 and your ass in my driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to start, but what's cool is that they're leaning in. That means that crypto's staying, folks. I don't know what it's going to look like, after they get done, sticking their hands in it. But they're definitely, it's here to stay. And at what capacity and how, I hope to see a split. I really hope to see a split between DeFi and CeFi. And just like we have, the traditional finance, FDIC backed banking world, whatever, you don't want to hold or custody your Bitcoin. You can get paper stuff and you can go get ETFs and all that bullshit. And then there's DeFi, where the cash people live, and they're regulated by the same rules that cash is regulated at, and, I don't mind that, but let them exist. Don't say, oh, you use a DeFi wallet, therefore you're all a demon. Just like, the same with the tobacco world. If you smoke cigars, you're addicted to nicotine like anybody else who's on a vape or any other deal, and it's not good to lump everybody in, put everybody in one bucket of bathwater and then throw it out,
Agreed.
And that's what we've lost is common sense. That's why everybody's so mad, whether you're left or right or center or libertarian or conservative or liberal or whatever. Everyone's just been pissed off because there's no common sense anymore in things. They don't sit down and really discuss issues anymore. It's like, fuck you. I got more money than you. My shit's going to get put in place because you don't have more money than I do. And that's the end of the story, and everybody else be damned. And I don't care who gets hurt or whatever. I want my shit to matter, not yours. And we don't have decent discourse anymore. We don't have common sense anymore. We don't discuss things and talk about all the harmful things that it could possibly do by throwing a baby out with the bathwater kind of stuff. And we just make knee-jerk reactions anymore, and it's like, for instance, now I know that there's two emotional people right now going at each other live on social media, but the president said, okay, fuck the rocket programs. I'm defunding your rocket programs. And what is freaking Schmenduk do? He goes, okay, starting immediately, we're stopping building rockets. So he's on the phone calling up SpaceX going, hey, tell everybody to put the wrenches down. It's over with. No more rockets, And, the other guys on the other side, old freaking Schleprock over there, is going, yeah, shut his funding off right now. So two emotional freaking people are causing, like, we put rockets up like every couple of months to go put a new satellite up or do something. Elon has a contract to do that stuff. Like we had to go save these astronauts just the other day because NASA doesn't exist anymore. We don't send rockets into space anymore. We have a private company that does it, and that's Elon. And it's like these two freaking Schmendrick and fucking Schleprock here are going to start fighting and
meanwhile, there's a bunch of dudes that build rockets wondering if they could buy cigars next month, right?
Exactly.
Is this going to freaking affect my household, right? These guys are going at each other so huge. Is this going to affect my money?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people should understand there is no problem. There is a problem. The fact that they're putting that out there is the problem.
Is there a chance I can still get to Mars though?
Maybe your ashes, bro.
Maybe I got a chance.
Saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance. Oh
well, listen. Yeah, there's a lot of blustering that can go on right back and forth, and a lot of positioning. I'm old school, right? So yeah, I kind of prefer a different level of professionalism, right?
Yeah, me too. I would just like to see more discourse about common sense,
But but yeah, of course, man. Hey, listen, natural law exists. All right. So regardless of whether we want to pretend it doesn't exist or not, if you trip and fall on your face, man, it hurts. I've done it. And if you trip and fall on your freaking ribs and break them, they break and they hurt, right? Natural law. You insert whatever examples that you want, right? We can pretend that that doesn't happen, that everybody bounces, but they don't, right? So my point is there is natural law, but with the way we're situated with politics, like you're saying, and discussion and how people interact, man, it's all this stuff, right? Where it's all layered theories of, well, maybe you're not going to fall. Maybe you're only going to get, you'll stop right before you hit the bottom. I don't know, right? But yeah, I'm with you.
The other problem we have is freaking a whole bunch of people that freaking throw pillows under you before you fall, when actually you probably should fall because that's a learning experience.
Let me tell you, I haven't tripped since I broke my ribs. That's for sure.
There you go. A little more
I don't know if you could say that's causation or not, but yeah, man, that was the worst thing ever. I never had broken my ribs before, and
it was correlated.
It was correlated.
It was correlated. I would say it was correlated.
I was like, I'm real careful on ice now, man. I'm like, nope. But yeah, and so, but now let's flip it around. We're an older generation now. Certainly, it's not like those two guys are young, right? But they're not playing to us. We're not the only audience.
No.
Right?
No.
There's a lot of other people. And you know what? There are a lot of other people that want that drama. They want baby daddy drama all the time. And that catches eyeballs and that catches interest. And it takes their thinking and it takes up their mind.
And maybe it's a different way. Look over here, not over here.
So is it on purpose? Is it not on purpose? I don't know. Is this Mean Girls and there's somebody in the background causing? Who the hell knows, man? I don't know. I only know what I read on the internet, and that's pretty bad, right? Because, so much of this crap is just unknowable about what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, tomorrow they could be kissing and making up, and then be like, I didn't even know. Like, how did they resolve this?
Yeah, And I always say I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but for some reason, this kind of a thing. I just don't see the smartest, the richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world having a cat fight in public is reality. It's just almost like there's got to be something else behind it.
You say that, but you're also pretty learned about some things, and you've done a lot of reading, and you know a lot about history, about stuff that happened behind closed doors. There's a lot of craziness, man. There's a lot of craziness.
There is.
So maybe this is just reality too. I have no answer for anybody. Sorry, audience. I mean, I don't have an answer as to, not that I'm the one that needs to provide it, but it's like you pick your flavor of whether you want this to be conspiracy or idiocy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and you're right. We never had social platforms like this where people could air their dirty laundry out in real time. Like we didn't know what was going on with Nixon back then. We didn't know, what was really happening during the Cuban Missile Crisis and who was fighting and who was, all the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. And so you're right. This could be, just because we have real time reaction and a place to put it, and I'll show you.
Which also affected my cigars, right? The freaking Cuban Missile Crisis. Always going after the cigars.
Always going after the cigars, but they're still here, man. They're still here. Industries have been around.
Burn it all.
Families have been here for hundreds of years. They ain't going nowhere, and hopefully, we can be part of the people that help support them and move law and legislation forward to help protect them too. All right, guys. Hey, hope you enjoyed your sticks. How'd that final bit of those go? I know you still got a little.
5 years from now, I expect to be pairing this with a Brondo from Idiocracy. Yeah,
Electrolytes are good.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
Yeah, he's got the clip out. He's got the clip. It's getting down to the heated fingers.
Yeah, my final third is good. I'll leave you with
great. Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll leave you guys with this thought too before we go. I was thinking about this today. Correlation or maybe a comparison between how we talk about the thirds of a cigar. Hex is on the second third.
Oh,
how about that?
It is. We are on that second third. It's crazy because you see people making these 10-year steaks now, and it's like I've got 15-year steaks that are going to come out before that 10-year steak does.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It's interesting. SJ's in the background.
Oh.
What plants crave?
That's right. Electrolytes. I have some other favorite. I have some other favorite quotes from that movie, but I'm not going to say them here. But I do like money, and of course, welcome to Pulse Chain. We love you is a direct quote from that movie as well. It's great. I see Beached Whale smoking Rojas. I like Rojas a lot. If you ever get a chance to try street tacos, they're good.
Yeah, I was going to have one the other day, and I grabbed something else instead. Got to get me one of those tacos. I hear they're good.
Yeah, I smoked a few weeks ago. I was smoking Cinco de Mayos. They came out with a special, just once a year.
Mm-hmm.
We had the box around here somewhere, but
was that the one that had the the Dia de los Muertos skeleton face on it or something like that?
Yeah, it may have. I didn't pay attention.
Oh, yeah, you showed me that. I really wanted to buy. I wish I had one of those.
Yeah, that's a great brand. I like those smokes. I mean, listen, I like a lot of them, so I like Ashton too. But
yeah, I've been waiting for this show. I love Ashtons.
Oh,
yeah.
When I went out looking for the Ashtons, I didn't get this size for the Ashtons, but so I picked up these Undercrown Maduros. Little baby, look at this, little baby cigars. And it came with a little stick like this. I was like, I don't know, maybe I was channeling RG3. I was like, I need a little tiny cigar.
A cigarello.
Is it a cigarello? I don't even know if that's really what it is.
I don't know what they call them.
Because it's like a little, it's like fully wrapped. You can't really tell. Little mini label and everything.
Yeah, I like those Undercrowns
before.
What's that?
Have you ever smoked those before?
I did now. Yeah.
The only bad thing about those is that you, just like when I had that 858 during our first Arturo Fuente show, you could turn that whole cigar into a half a cherry in about 3 bucks, buddy.
Yeah, with enough with enough draw, you're like, whoosh, done.
Like, oh, whoops.
All of a sudden, you're inhaling fire.
Yeah,
on fire.
I'd be afraid. I'd want to like smoke it like a cigarette. I'd be like, oh shoot. Yeah,
exactly.
Inhale it.
And I used to get those ones, Vilgers, Vilger. They're wrapped in paper. Have you ever had those? They're very good.
Mm-mm.
Comes in like a cardboard pack. It's very decent cigar for the small size like you just had. I'll send you a picture later.
I got a box of Davidoffs when I was in Portugal last, like those, because they didn't have anything else. Like literally, that was all I had.
Yeah. and were those Cuban?
No, they were their just their Davidoff brand. Now I can't tell which ones are their Cubans and which ones are just their Davidoffs. I mean, do they say Havana on them? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I would say Havana on it.
Yeah, I don't think they had the Havana on it. It was just their Davidoff. But
the small cigar that I like the most, aside from some ones that we can all get, were these Cuban Fonsecas that were small, a little bit bigger than what you're smoking there, and they're wrapped in paper, right? Like a cello, not even a cello, it's just actually a paper, and they were Cubans, and they were unbelievable. Who is that that's putting out the Fonseca cigar now here that we can get? Because
my father.
I want to get one of those so bad, buddy. Have you had one yet?
Yeah, I've got one in my humidor. I smoked one, and I've got one in my humidor. I really liked it. Yes, yeah, it's my father. Now, I don't know how many. I don't know, because this was that store that I went to that, like I said, had that real old cigar sitting in the back of his humidor, and I pulled them out, and the cello was like yellow.
Yeah,
and I should go check that, because that guy. It's funny. So just like 2 weeks ago, that guy sold a $25 million lotto ticket out of his cigar shop.
What?
Yep, he sold a $25 million lottery ticket.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't been back there to check on him, see what happened. But yeah, I was looking at it. I saw the news, and it said, yeah, such and such cigar mini mart. And I was like, what? You know that guy?
And that's why I don't play the lottery anymore. You Californians win all the time. Always somebody in California.
There's too many of us out here. That's why.
Not always, but
10% of the population's in California.
I know. Give the rest of us a chance, will you?
Oh, you can have them.
Yeah.
We'll send
winning a lottery ticket? Sure. Send them. I'll take them.
You're gonna have to take the Californians over there with you. Which most of them are.
I live in the other California, so yeah, that's good.
That's true.
We're all set.
That's true.
Right on. All right, gentlemen, ready to call it an evening. I appreciate everybody coming. We haven't chose our stick for next week yet, so we'll get that out there to let everybody know what we're going to be doing. But we appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with us, talking a little crypto, talking a little cigars. Again, leave your information if you're in the London area or Toronto area, and we'll get you those tickets to go hang out with our buddy at Havana Castle, and go hang out on the yacht with them. We've got those tickets. Anyway, everyone, have a great one. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next week on Burn It All.
Third board leaf, sun-soaked and proud, hung in the rafters, wrapped in shroud. Hands work strong, they twist and bind. A rebel's oath, slow burned and signed. Burn it all, let the embers soar. Gold in the ash and coal in the core. No masters here, no gates to climb. We blaze the trail, we love at time. Choke what we designed. The flames don't die, they realign. The pulse within begins to rise. We break the night and claim the skies.